No one hated him more than Bob Newhart. Robert Newton Newhart was born in Oak Park, Illinois, on September 5, 1929. He studied economics at Loyola University Chicago and thought about becoming an accountant after growing up in a humble family. Despite working in finance, Newhart developed a passion for comedy and performed at local bars and practiced in tiny venues. The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart, his 1960 comedy album, was his breakthrough. His distinctive technique of one-sided telephone talks and hypothetical discussions was displayed at a Chicago nightclub on the album, which allowed the audience to fill in the gaps. The outcome was groundbreaking. The record was the first comedy album to top the Billboard charts and won him the 1961 Grammy for Best Comedy Record. This breakthrough secured Newhart's prominence in comedy and changed how comic albums were made and performed. Due to its relatability and focus on everyday fears and absurdities, his comedy stood apart from the era's slapstick and overblown comedy. Bob Newhart effortlessly transitioned into television, appearing in The Bob Newhart Show from 1972 to 1978. In this series, he played Chicago psychologist Dr. Robert Hartley, who dealt with his patients, colleagues, and family's idiosyncrasies. The show's humor, realistic portrayal of interpersonal dynamics, professional nuances, and human discomfort made it a hit. Deadpan reactions and restrained manner were the series' signature, winning Newhart critical acclaim and Emmy nominations. His show's popularity showed his ability to mix humor with empathy, creating approachable and empathetic characters. Bob Newhart has a versatile career spanning decades beyond the Bob Newhart program. Newhart, his 1990s television return, solidified his status as a situational comedy expert. The show's Dick Loudon was an innkeeper in a small Vermont village with strange residents. The sitcom was famous for its witty writing, character-driven humor, and series conclusion, which is considered one of the most iconic in television history. Newhart amazed audiences with his capacity to surprise, delight, and leave a lasting impact. Showing a performer who has spent decades perfecting his art, Newhart was an instant hit when it began, like its predecessor, The Bob Newhart Show, which made Bob Newhart a household celebrity and a unique, understated, humorous voice. The sitcom, set in a modest Vermont inn, featured Newhart's deadpan style, delicate timing, and ability to find humor in commonplace circumstances. The show's brilliant script, well-drawn characters, and Newhart's natural charm were praised by critics, while audiences loved the inn's unusual locals, who had odd eccentricities that provided infinite comic situations. The show won several Emmy nominations over its 8-season run, a testament to its script and Newhart's acting. Newhart ended in 1990 after 182 episodes, establishing a legacy in American television comedy and confirming Newhart's status as one of the most beloved comedic actors of his time. The series finale's surprising twist ending is still considered one of television's best, exhibiting Newhart's humor and creativity. Bob Newhart returned to television in 1992 with another ambitious sitcom, Bob. His cartoonist avatar in this series allowed him to showcase his more fanciful and imaginative side while maintaining his subtle humor. Television critics liked Newhart's humorous timing and smart premise, but the show struggled to draw an audience. Despite its virtues, the series struggled in the ratings. After its second season, the show was canceled, representing an uncommon period in Newhart's brilliant TV career. Bob showed Newhart's willingness to try new formats and pursue characters that allowed him to explore new comedy areas. Bob Newhart's comedy CDs in the 1990s and 2000s solidified his status as a stand-up comedian. Off the Record, The Button-Down Concert, and This were among his famous albums. These works showcased Newhart's quiet, unobtrusive observational humor and storytelling, turning everyday situations into humorous human behavior observations. Newhart's subtle humor and timing captivated viewers for decades. Fans may enjoy his comedy on these recordings, which captured his live performances. Newhart returned to television in 2001, appearing in many series. He performed sketch comedy on Mad TV and gave traditional comedic gravitas to Desperate Housewives. His charm and wit were on display in Quest for the Spear, Return to King Solomon's Mines, and Curse of the Judas Chalice, all part of the Librarian franchise. His guest roles on sitcoms like Committed and procedural dramas like NCIS showed that his brand of humor could still resonate with modern audiences while maintaining the timeless qualities that made him famous decades earlier. The popular American sitcom The Big Bang Theory cast Newhart as Arthur Jeffries / Professor Proton in 2013. Newhart was lauded for his portrayal of a nostalgic children's science television host, mingling warmth, humor, and sorrow. He appeared till 2018, contributing to some of the show's most touching moments. His performance garnered critical acclaim and reconnected with younger viewers, who may not have known his earlier work, indicating his comedic talent remains relevant. After The Big Bang Theory, Newhart guest starred on The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, where his dry humor and conversational charm shined. His sitcoms include Hot in Cleveland and Return to the World of the Librarians, showing his passion for acting and ability to play humorous and light serious roles. That he returned as Arthur Jeffries / Professor Proton in the 2017 coming-of-age sitcom Young Sheldon, perpetuating the legacy of one of his most cherished characters and delighting fans with his understated wit that enthralled audiences for almost 50 years. On January 12, 1963, Bob Newhart, the iconic comedian and actor known for his deadpan humor, married Virginia Lillian Ginny Quinn, born December 9, 1940, and died April 23, 2023. Ginny Quinn's family was heavily involved in showbiz. Her father, character actor Bill Quinn, introduced her to the performing arts through film and television. Buddy Hackett, the legendary comedian, saw Newhart's wit and Ginny's charm and introduced them. Their marriage combined comedy with performance, providing a solid family life in show business's wild and unpredictable climate. Bob and Ginny formed a loving, stable, and values-based family. Four children were born over 14 years. Robert, born in 1963, the year Newhart's career began to garner national prominence. Timothy, born in 1967, grew up during Newhart's 1970s TV boom. Jennifer was born in 1971. Her father's burgeoning reputation and the family's commitment to a normal home life molded her childhood. Courtney, born in 1977, into the family while Bob was already a TV and comic icon. Over time, the Newharts added 10 grandkids, continuing Bob and Ginny's decades-long heritage and family relationships. Faith was crucial to their lives. As believing Catholics, Bob and Ginny chose to raise their children in that way, teaching in them the values, traditions, and spiritual foundation that had defined their childhood. Newhart's career included touring, television, and film work, but the couple prioritized their family, creating a nurturing environment where their children could grow up with a sense of normalcy and an awareness of the entertainment world. Their 60-year marriage, until Ginny's 2023 death, showed their dedication, endurance, and family strength. In the life of a popular American comedian, for a comic known for his sharp wit, exquisite timing, and ability to convert even a pause into a chuckle, Bob Newhart was unexpectedly harsh about his Good Times co-star Jimmy Walker. Newhart's calm, understated comedy and preference for nuance over flamboyance were praised, but Walker's over-the-top manner and continual desire for attention clashed with everything Newhart valued in a performer. "I hated him." Newhart stated in an interview that his feelings extended beyond professional displeasure. His disdain of Walker went beyond employment. He saw Walker as everything he disliked about modern show business: ego-driven, flamboyant, and unconcerned with comedy as a discipline. Newhart was reportedly frustrated by Walker's humorous approach and behind-the-scenes conduct. Walker was noisy, demanding, and self-promotional, unlike Newhart, who was quiet and collegial. Newhart said he felt that the show revolved around him, displaying his growing annoyance. For a comedian like Newhart, who valued timing, subtlety, and developing jokes with interaction and depth, Walker's continuous attempts to steal the attention produced tension on set and drained energy from moments that required precise pacing. Walker's fame and celebrity approach also bothered Newhart. He believed Walker sought the spotlight at all costs, often overshadowing the ensemble cast and undermining the show's efforts. Newhart exasperatedly observed, "I always felt like he was trying to convert pleasant times into the Jimmy Walker program." Newhart, who valued respect, patience, and quiet performance, found Walker's behavior unpleasant and a betrayal of teamwork. Walker's off-screen persona, which Newhart felt was as artificial and self-serving as his on-screen antics, intensified his disdain. He noticed how Walker's flamboyant nature sought reinforcement continuously, in contrast to Newhart's low-key professionalism and focus on comedy as an art form rather than ego. "I've never met anyone so obsessed with being liked and noticed all the time," Newhart remarked. This combination of on-screen ostentation and off-screen self-absorption, in Newhart's view, made Walker a uniquely difficult colleague, one whom he could scarcely tolerate. In the end, Bob Newhart's feelings toward Jimmy Walker weren't merely casual annoyance. They were a deeply felt antipathy that colored his memories of working on the show. Newhart's statements about Walker were candid, unmistakable, and repeated in multiple interviews over the years, signaling that this wasn't a passing frustration, but a profound personal distaste. "I can honestly say I've never disliked a co-star more," Newhart once concluded, leaving no ambiguity about the intensity of his feelings. For a man who built a career on humor, patience, and composure, his animosity toward Walker stood out as a rare moment of unfiltered emotion in his otherwise measured life and career. In 1985, Bob Newhart experienced a serious health scare when he was hospitalized for secondary polycythemia, a rare blood disorder characterized by an abnormal increase in red blood cells. This condition was closely linked to his decades-long habit of heavy smoking, which he had never been able to fully break despite his awareness of the associated health risks. During his hospitalization, Newhart underwent careful medical monitoring and treatment over the course of several weeks, a period that forced him to slow down and reflect on the toll his lifestyle choices had taken on his health. Following his recovery, he made the conscious decision to quit smoking, recognizing it as a necessary step to preserve his well-being and ensure he could continue performing and living a fulfilling life. This turning point in his personal life marked the beginning of a healthier chapter, demonstrating his resilience and willingness to make significant changes even after many years of established habits. Bob Newhart ultimately passed away from complications stemming from several short illnesses at his home in Los Angeles on July 18, 2024, at the remarkable age of 94, leaving behind a career that had spanned more than 6 decades. His death marked the end of an era in American comedy, as Newhart was widely regarded not only for his deadpan delivery and unique comedic timing, but also for his humility, kindness, and enduring influence on generations of comedians and entertainers. Upon hearing of his passing, President Joe Biden released a formal statement, paying tribute to Newhart's extraordinary contributions to entertainment and American culture. In his statement, the president said, "Today we mourn the loss of Bob Newhart, a comedy legend and beloved performer who kept Americans laughing for decades." This official acknowledgement from the highest office in the country underscored the deep cultural impact Newhart had achieved over his long career, reflecting the universal admiration for his talent and the genuine affection felt by audiences nationwide. Beyond the accolades and public recognition, his death prompted a wave of tributes from fans, fellow performers, and comedy historians alike, all of whom celebrated his unique ability to craft humor that was intelligent, subtle, and timeless.